Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday and welcome to Coffee with Coach. While we're waiting for a couple people to join us, I just want to share. Do you guys see this cactus? Okay, I know you're all stunned. There's actually a live plant in my office, people. It's a cactus. Cacti? No, a cactus one, right? I don't know. Whatever. It's alive. Look. Yay. So I spray it. This was actually a gift from my coach. I think she was sad for me that all of my plants die. Oh, party people. So happy to be here with everybody. I know I jumped on a tad bit early today because I wanted to make sure I gave you guys plenty of time to get on. I know I'm so nice, right? Okay, so here's the deal, people. We're going live. It is November 1st, 2021, which means yesterday was Halloween, and I have confessions. There are confessions of a health crazy coach coming at you. You ready? Hang on to your hats and glasses, people, because it's about to get serious up in here. Here's the deal. I had a problem with Halloween candy yesterday. I know. It's not a normal problem I have. I got what we call the fuckets. Yeah, that's the F word, it's. I got the fuckets, and I just ate all the candy. And I feel like garbage this morning. Absolutely. My mouth is dry. My rings don't fit. Nothing sounds good. I didn't sleep well. When I was running this morning, my heart rate was way higher than it normally is. Why the hell am I sharing this with you? Well, one, because I'm always transparent, or I try to be. As I say, I open the kimono, but not in a dirty way. Good morning, Poppy Plum. So happy you're here. But also to admit to everyone, yeah, besides that I'm human, this is what gave rise, that's nice, don't mind me, I only talk for a living. This is what gave rise to today's conversation in Coffee with Coach. And that is that it takes nothing to lead an ordinary life. I know I sound so mean, right? It sounds really mean. I know I'm kind of like super aware of that. Plus, for those of you that have not listened to this audiobook yet, I highly recommend it. It's called What Happened to You? Sorry, I ran really hard this morning, which means my lungs open up, which means I cough during Coffee with Coach. Anyway, so What Happened to You, Oprah, and a man whose name just flew out of my head. I'm sure he's extraordinary, and we'll make sure to update our notes below to include his name because he's wonderful. It's Candy Brain. Anyway, the idea that our brains, you guys know me in brain science, like I will study brain science forever, but this idea that our brains really understand more when we are prelingual than we've ever understood before. That we understand so much in that phase of life about tension, about danger, about predictability, and about how to soothe ourselves through things. And that what we learn in those prelingual years, and we learn that mostly from our caregivers and how we're treated and what happens. This is really, really important times. Now, why am I bringing this up at a point when I'm saying it takes nothing to lead an ordinary life? Because I want you to understand what happened to you during those years. I think it's really important. If you haven't grabbed the audiobook, please grab it. Even if you think you had the best childhood ever, which you may have, that's wonderful. You want to understand what habits formed for you, how your stress response was formed, how you cope with things, and maybe what addictions you picked up along the way that you're ready to set down now. And addictions, by the way, can be addictions to exercise. It can be addictions to overperforming for work or in home life. Addictions can be the dangerous ones that we know about, the drinking, the food, the heroin, the cocaine. Maybe you're eating a lot of edibles now that, at least in my states, that's legal now. Like there's so many different things that we choose to pick up when we don't have a healthy stress response, when we can't regulate on our own our response to the world as it happens. Okay, because we all know, you guys have heard me say that 100 bazillion times. The world is going to happen to you, right? And we know this now. Like that's just going to keep coming, and COVID like nailed that sucker, right? Like we know we have no control over what's coming, right? In 2020, Tuesday, what was it? Monday looked like this, Tuesday looked like that. Totally different worlds. And that can happen at any moment. We talk about this with the doctor calls with a certain diagnosis, right? The school nurse calls and says, oh my God, something happened, right? We all know these moments can happen. We don't have control over that. So in these prelingual years, we're learning how to respond to that. And we're doing that through role modeling, but we're also being given opportunities by other people to self-regulate. And when that isn't taught, which for most of us, it really wasn't, right? For various reasons, or it was a little bit, but not all the way. And now it's us as adults, it's our time to sort of help rewire that a little bit. That we will pick up things that don't serve us in order to soothe, right? We will pick up things that don't necessarily help us in order to make life better for us, in order for us to feel better. And some of those habits I want to talk about today, because I truly believe it takes nothing to keep those in place. And it's not even our fault they're there. I gotcha. I feel you. You know me. I'm always like, listen, life happens. It's okay, right? But I don't want you having an ordinary life. And I don't want you being burned out. So where the F is the sweet spot in there, right? Like I'm not interested in a whole bunch of women. We're already over functioning. We're already in the high functioning codependent phase. Like all that's already happening. We don't need to like zone in on that and make you miserable. I'm not into that, but I do want you to understand. And when you guys are here, say hi so I know you're here. I do want you guys to understand that your dreams, the vision for yourself that you set out, it deserves attention and focus. And it takes nothing to let it fall by the wayside. Okay, so here we come with all of our packaging, right? All the stuff that we've been given through childhood, most of it prelingual, by the way, which we're just really starting to understand. So all this has come into your life. And then you say to me, you call someone like me, you're like, Sarah, help me make more money in my business. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd love to. That sounds like so much fun. And you can't get up and go work out. Now I'm not saying that like a judgment, right? You tell me you want to make more money. You tell me, and you tell you more importantly, right? I want to make sure my body's healthy so I can run my business. And then you don't do the little things on a daily basis that would cause that to happen. See what I'm saying? Everybody wants, and we're coming up against that time of the year, you guys. Like we're this close. Oh my gosh. And so keep an eye out. I'm going to be doing a really special New Year's workshop. And no, this is not a webinar where I sell crap at the end of it. This is a standalone workshop. So please keep your eyes open because you're going to want to hang on to your hats and glasses for that workshop. It's going to be amazing. Anyway, total side note. But as you're looking around at what you say you want to do, I don't want you picking up what's going out there in the world, right? Everybody's like, oh my God, just spend 3 minutes on Instagram and you're like, want to stick a fork in your eye, right? Like everybody has to look like this. And I made $1 million in my sleep. And oh my gosh, I rented this private jet. So you think I'm really cool. Like all that stuff that's going on. I don't want you looking out there. Like I always say, right? We create business from the inside out. You create your perspective of the world from the inside out. You don't do that from the outside in, because when you do, you just copy other people's stuff and then we just have more of all that stuff. We don't have what's original to you. We don't have the heart and the soul and the power and the experience and the talents that come from you, because you've like pushed those to the side so you can be like everybody else. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound so great. And that takes nothing. And say it again. It takes nothing to lead an ordinary life. It takes nothing to consume the garbage that's out there and assume that that's what your life is supposed to be like. That takes nothing. It takes nothing to choose Netflix over doing your work. It takes nothing to hit snooze instead of get up and do what you said you were going to do. Do you hear what I'm saying? That's habit. That's just like, yeah, whatever. Well, it's Tuesday. I don't care. Pick an excuse. You will find it. You will have it. Hooray. Good for you. Do you have the life you said you wanted? The life you said you wanted, not the life other people told you you're supposed to want. I'm not interested in that. And I don't think you really are either. That's why you guys come to me, because you know I'll tell you the truth about that. I'm not interested in that for you. Make sense? All right, I'm jumping over to comments real quick. Kathy! Hi, Kathy. You guys, Kathy has COVID. Can you stand it? She even got her booster. Oh, my Kathy, I'm so sorry. Hi, Alex. So glad you're here. Ilea, it is not Dr. Oz. I cannot remember his name. I'm so sorry. But if you guys look up what happened to you on Audible, you'll see his name there. Yeah, I know. Our beautiful Kathy got COVID after all this time. I know. It's like my girlfriend who got it in like April. We're all like, but you're supposed to be getting the. It's like, are you kidding? I know. It was just bananas. But Kathy, we love you. We're all sending you lots of love, lots of healthy vibes. Alex, I'm glad this is what you needed today. I needed it today too. I'm not even going to lie. You guys, we're all human and we have these moments. So I, once again, have had to take on my health in a whole new way, right? I would say so really since my dad's accident. So what was that? That was July, August, September, October. So we're on 4 months now. I've been really struggling. I've been eating like garbage, which is not a normal thing for me. I have been exercising, but a little bit more sporadically. So I've been off. And I don't feel as good and my inflammation's up and I have 2 autoimmune diseases. Like I don't have the luxury of being able to do this, right? So yes, I'm going to talk about a personal thing and then I'm going to show you how that translates to business, right? And to money, which I know is so important to us, right? And not money, again, you guys know me, this is not shoe and bag money, though if that's your jam, good on you, love it. We're talking about college fund money. We're talking about paying the mortgage off early money. We are talking about surprising the family with vacation money. We're talking about money so you don't have to worry. It's one of my favorite quotes. I have a lot of favorite quotes from J.K. Rowling, but it's one of my favorite quotes from J.K. Rowling when someone was like, what is it like to be one of the wealthiest people in the world? And she's like, okay, it's nice. She goes, can I tell you the best part is not having to worry anymore. How much time does worry take up? And I'm going to argue, by the way, that worry also doesn't take as much as we think. It's a lot of wasted energy, but it's a habit. I know, I just went there. So this is me, like being honest, okay? So I have been fantastic. I would say the last 3 weeks, I got kind of back into cooking. I think COVID burned me out. I don't want to cook anymore. I'm like, oh my gosh, I cook so much. I don't want to right now. I kind of got the efforts around that too. And I was in the last 3 weeks. I ate really well. I was feeling better. I was back on track. My inflammation was down, the whole thing. And yesterday I got the efforts. I don't even know how much candy I ate. That's how much I ate. It's gross. Like it's gross, not because I'm gross for eating candy. No, I mean, the amount of sugar that I consumed, not healthy, gross, right? I want you guys to hear it that way. Like I don't consume sugar like that, right? Because I'm starting to experience insulin resistance amongst my other autoimmune diseases, right? So I'm really careful about this stuff. So I know all this, right? I'm going in, I'm feeling better. And yesterday I got the efforts. That's going to happen to every single one of us. And I'm feeling it today. I don't feel like myself today. Why would I do that to myself? Oh my gosh, why? So, well, one, I hope so I can teach from it. But more importantly, usually the reason is, you guys, is because we like to stay in this space. That's what self-sabotage is about. It's not about, oh my God, it's about the whining you get to do for the days and days and days afterwards. It's the woe is me that you get to participate in. It's the self-flogging, right? They're like, you asshole, all the things we say to ourselves. And don't tell me you don't say them because we're not that original. We all have pretty much the same ones, right? So these things that we get to say to ourselves, that distraction, do you see the energy that takes? It takes nothing to lead an ordinary life. That focus on I can't even, what? And you said, and discipline, and all the stuff. Well, guess what happens when you're doing that? Not your work. Not following up on leads. Not generating new content from the inside out. Not reaching out to people who need you. I hope you guys are still in that habit that we all did together in COVID and Coffee with Coach during COVID. Who needs you today? You're not doing that. Why? Yeah, you stay stuck there. That takes nothing. What? Yeah, that becomes part of the habit. Right there. Now you're in it. Your ego's in charge. It's kept you small and you are now off track. That's why we do it. And it is partially habit. And the habit comes, right, from wanting to stay smaller, especially right now. I can't even tell you guys how many conversations I had with one-on-one clients specifically just last week about not wanting to get bigger because of the cancel culture out there. I don't want, I mean, what if they critique me? And you guys know my deal about that. I'm like, they're gonna. Oh my God, you guys know that I like pour my heart and soul out. I'm like trying to make your lives better. I'm helping you guys make more money. And someone's like, your hair's sticking. And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Right? But that's what's going to happen. And we have to understand that that's what's going to happen. And now on top of the success tax called critique, we also have cancel culture, right? So instead of facing that and dealing with that, I can't believe I did that yesterday. That's easier. Do you get that? So much easier to stay here than to create something new from the inside out that someone else might critique and that you might get canceled for because God forbid you didn't say it the right way, even though your heart was in the right place. And by the way, everything is clean upable. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You make a mess, own it, clean it up, deal with it head on. And now you've got cancel culture handled. And I mean that. Stop hiding because you're afraid of what some crazy person in their basement's going to say about you. You've got a mission here. You've got an impact to make. You can block people if you need to, and you stay true to your mission. And we watched you guys during that time when that was funny. When cancel culture hit a fever pitch, right? We watched the people who were able to navigate through that and own their mistakes, like eating all the Halloween candy. You guys, we're all fallible. We all make mistakes. It's how we deal with them on the other side that matters. Everything is clean upable. Okay, you can clean up any mess you've made. You really, really can, but you've got to have, my favorite word, the self-trust and the confidence that you can handle that. Now, if from this book, right, what happened to you, if you have not been taught a healthy, it's the candy. If you've not been taught a healthy stress response, you do things like reach for the candy, right? We do things like, half-assing work. We do things like focusing on a family fight. Oh, that's one of my favorites, right? I can't concentrate because I had a fight with my aunt, right? I mean, what? Like that doesn't feel good and it can make things feel out of balance. There's no question about that. And you still have work to do. You still have life to lead. And then you deal with that when you can. But to let it totally knock you off course is a habit. I know I'm super challenging you guys today. I hope you're feeling that because I just don't have time for you guys to not be doing what you're here to do. You're freaking amazing. Do not let this world push you around. Okay. All right. So let's see what's going on. Bruce Perry. Ilea, you win today. Thank you so much. Yes, Dr. Bruce Perry. And there's also for all of you entrepreneurs, there's a fantastic moment in the book. It's right at the very beginning where he talks about how he was in the middle of putting together data he'd done in a research project. And he felt like the research project was just a mess and he couldn't quite get it right. And his assistant sticks his head in and goes, Oprah's on the phone. He's like, sure. And just kept working and wasn't even paying attention. Such a great story. Anyway, yes, that's his name. Thank you. Hi, Schmelly. So glad you're here. Yeah. And Alex, it is exhausting. It's about this idea that, that what other people think of us matters more. And that's we talked about that in the last Coffee with Coach, right? Your fear of failure isn't really about the actual failing, right? It's not about actually making mistakes. We all make mistakes every day. That we know we can handle those. Your concern is about what other people are going to think about your mistake. That's actually what the fear of failure is. And that is exhausting. That is absolutely exhausting. And that's what happens when we decide to pick a fight with our spouses. That's what happens when we choose to focus on the negative response, the negative comment, those things. That's when you're choosing to spend your time and energy there instead of doing what you're here to do, instead of creating the next video, writing the next email, writing the next blog post, creating a new product, reaching out to the lead that you know is this close, but you're a little bit nervous to land them because you're going to have to work your butt off, right? This is what I'm talking about. It takes nothing to avoid those things. Yeah, I said I'd work out, but I don't care. It's okay. I'll call them tomorrow. The money will be there. It's fine. I don't care. I don't feel like it right now. That's a lie. Quite frankly, those are all lies. It is all lies. And they're lies that are devised by our egos, as you know, to keep you out of the game. because it's safer. It's safer outside the game. Those of you who've taken the Game On Girlfriend project, hi Lily, good morning. Those of you who've taken the Game On Girlfriend project, I believe it's module 3, where we talk about how your ego likes to pretend it's driving the ship. And this idea that it running around like a crazy person, right? So you're the captain of the ship and your ego is like the dude, you know, who's up in the top ranks, like looking for icebergs and stuff, right? But our ego pretends like that dude who's like, oh my God, look at that over there. Oh my God, over there. Oh my God, over there. Oh my God, did you see that guy? He's totally drunk and he's running around and nobody cleaned up the mess. And nobody. That's what your ego's doing. But somewhere along the line, we let the dude who's supposed to look out for icebergs start driving the ship. And I'm here to remind you, no, you are the driver. You are the captain of the ship. That's just the loud guy up top who half the time isn't really telling us anything of value, right? It's there to say, hey, please don't put your hand on this hot stove. Okay, that I'll listen to, right? That kind of stuff. But on the daily, giving into that noise, when I don't know what your to-do list looks like, but this is mine. I don't know if you can see. No, kind of, it's long, right? So you can like listen to the dude, right? Or you can look at your to-do list and get some stuff done. And that is like a moment by moment thing. You know, Poppy, I'll get you one sec. But I was just talking to a client this morning. I had an early morning call today, and we were talking about the value of 12-step programs. Now, I've never had to go through a 12-step program personally. I know of the 12 steps. I've studied it. I think it's phenomenal. And the fact that it's free is just, I think, exquisite. Anyway, there's one thing that people do in a 12-step program that I think is amazing. And at some point during today's live, my mouth will catch up with my brain. We'll all be there and we'll be very happy when that happens. Anywho, the one part of the 12-step program that I really value and love is like, you know, let's say you're addicted to cocaine, right? And you're really working through these steps is the idea of like, oh my God, I really want a line of cocaine. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Okay, 5 minutes. I'm just going to wait 5 minutes. And sometimes I'm just going to wait 30 seconds. I'm going to wait 30 seconds. All right, I'm going to answer one email. I'm going to make one phone call. I'm going to do one thing. And then you get to the next 30 seconds. And then you get to the next minute. And then you get to the next 5 minutes. And then you get to the next 10 minutes. And then you make it through yet another day. And it really does work that way. And understanding that modifying our behavior is a moment by moment game. Choosing the ordinary life, which takes nothing, is a moment by moment choice. So even if you get up from this video and you're like, stupid Sarah, I don't care what she says. I'm watching Netflix. I don't want to call my clients. And you go watch Netflix, 1 minute after you've made that decision, you can unmake it. And you can start doing your to-do list instead. But remember, that goes both ways. So what I want to teach you today here, or what I hope you're taking from this conversation, is you are 100% in control moment by moment by moment by moment by moment. And if you've ever been addicted to cocaine or heroin or alcohol or food or sleeping or failure or overworking or over-exercising, like pick your thing, you know that moment by moment struggle. And we pretend we are smaller than that moment by moment struggle. Oh, it's just too hard. I just can't. The next 30 seconds you can do. The next minute you can do. And then the next minute after that. And that's actually how life works. We know that's how life unfolds, right? So you've got to get into the moment where you decide, I'm making this decision right now, just for the next minute. I'm going to try to tackle just the first thing on my list. I'm just giving myself 1 minute to get in there. And then the next minute, you can decide to do what you want to do with that. Does that make sense? I want you guys to stop pretending like leading an ordinary life is hard. I want you to stop pretending that these moment by moment decisions are bigger than you. We need you. I know I say this all the time, but you guys, I can't, there's so much here for me to say. Give me a sec. Seriously, my brain, I'm never eating sugar again. Holy cannoli. So, you guys know I used to watch the news every day. I just would. I just loved it. I love politics. I love the laws. I love understanding how we take care of each other. That's how I viewed it anyway. And I can't watch it anymore. It's just too painful. I don't give a crap which one you watch. They're all garbage at this point, but sorry, my opinion. But even when you have really brilliant people running those shows, I can't watch them anymore. We need you. We need you a lot. And we need you creating from you. Not from the stories you've told yourself, not from the addictions you've been choosing so far, and not from this BS idea that what's in front of you is bigger than you. It is not. It is one moment at a time, and you can do anything for a minute. Anything. And that is extraordinary. That's how extraordinary lives get made. They don't get made with grand sweeping gestures and New Year's resolutions and that kind of garbage, or signing up for an expensive diet or getting the new $100 million coach. No. Even when you do those things, they will fail unless you choose moment by moment by moment the tougher path, and not to the point of burnout. Sometimes for some of you that are addicted to burnout and you're addicted to overfunctioning and you're addicted to saying yes, for some of you, the tougher path is going to say, no, I need to rest now. Only you know that, and you know who I'm talking to. I know you just felt that. All right. Poppy Plum says, yes, I literally did that yesterday about my morning routine, or lack thereof. You were just like, no, I'm not going to do it. Okay. I gotcha. Kathy says, you reminded me of this. I'm capable. I'm the captain of my ship. I'm the master of my soul. Yes, you are. And Megan said, that's exactly what I was told about childbirth. You can do anything for 1 minute. Yeah, Megan, that's another great example. I mean, talk about something none of us want to do ever. Though I think I'd rather give birth than go through a first trimester again. But even that, moment by moment by moment. And you guys, this is part of the lie. I want to make sure if you guys have questions specifically for me, go ahead and write them in, because we'll be wrapping up soon. So I want to make sure I answer your questions if you have them. But the lie that you've been told is that you have to make grand sweeping changes in order to be of value. That you have to dive in with everything you have, and it's got to be 18-hour days and you're going to die. And you're just like, sometimes there are pushes like childbirth. I mean, sometimes there will be projects or ideas or challenges in front of you that are going to take more than normal. Oh my God, there's no question about that. Like there's going to be ebbs and flows in your life, 100%. But even those are moment by moment by moment. And I don't mean to sound like some Zen master. Y'all know I'm not that. I wouldn't have eaten 8 gallons of candy yesterday if I was a Zen master, right? Like, I'm as human as the rest of us. And I will tell you, what makes people extraordinary is the moment by moment decision. Hitting snooze. And I'm picking something like that because it feels so tiny in the moment, doesn't it? Like, it's fine. Tiny. It takes a nanosecond to smack that sucker off. The difference that makes in your day is almost hard to quantify, right? Because there's the thing that you didn't do that you got up in order to do, right? That's now either gone off the day or has to get moved somewhere else, and something else just got bumped, right? So there's that, and the rearranging of that and the organizing of that, not to mention, like, the igloo watching dude who's now running your show. You're such an idiot. You said you're right now. That's going on. You're trying to reorganize. You're like, I'm such an ass. God. You're doing all of that, hours and hours and hours, not to mention the energy, which is very difficult to quantify. That's what I mean by that. Like, it's really challenging, as opposed to, especially for those of us that get up early to work out, those moments of working out, the endorphins, the clarity in your brain, and that lasts all day. So it's like, it kind of goes like this, you guys. Sorry, I'm moving away from the mic, so I hope you can hear me. But it's like this tiny moment right here. It feels like this tiny moment, right? And it, like, by the end of the day, you're in like different stratospheres from that one little moment. These things matter. And when I tell you it takes nothing to lead an ordinary life, look around. It doesn't take much to be the biggest asshole on Twitter. It doesn't take much to bring other people down. It doesn't take much to copy somebody else's website. It doesn't take much to not be original. It doesn't take much to keep those 10 pounds on when you really want to get them off. It just doesn't. We've all been there. We all know we're all in this together. And I want to urge everybody who's hearing my voice right now, become extraordinary in whatever that definition is for you, right? That's the other part, is don't let anyone else tell you what that is. If you said you wanted to get up and go work out, honor that. If somebody else told you you're supposed to, who gives a shit? Sorry. Who cares? It's what you say you want for your life. You start honoring that and stop letting other people tell you what you're supposed to want and how it's supposed to look. But I'll tell you something, if you choose it and then you don't fight for it, we're going to have a problem. All right. So Lily says, I love the idea of thinking only what I can do for this minute, not all the things on my to-do list, which can be overwhelming. Yes, Lily, that's the whole point. It's that idea of how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Kathy says, my view of the world and myself has changed drastically because of this virus. One day, I actually thought that this was the end for me and that will affect my work for sure. Though every adversity we learn from so much. Yeah, Kathy, a lot of people have said that who've had it. Is like, oh my God, this is it. Yeah, it's a really dramatic effect on our bodies. Going back to, again, Kathy, thank you for highlighting that, is this idea that we take it for granted, don't we? We take for granted all the time that we can get up and exercise, that we can go for a 10-minute walk, that we can taste food that we love, that we can run to the grocery store later, that we even have a to-do list. You know what I'm saying? You guys, you have been gifted today, this day, that you chose to spend just a little bit of time with me, 30 minutes out of your whole day to get a little shot of inspiration, a little bit of clarity around how powerful you actually are. With this gift of this day, I want you to create from the inside out what you want. And I'm actually giving you permission to take a second and figure out what that even is. And then be grateful for all the different avenues you have to access those dreams. Because if you're listening to me right now, chances are you have more than most. And it takes nothing to live an ordinary life. All right. Ilea says, like breathing normally, how much you realize you didn't appreciate it when you have a stuffy nose. It's true. These moments, right? This is why I tell you guys, your health is your number one asset in your business. It just is. So take care of your sweet bodies today. Do something wonderful for yourself and go help more people so you can make more money. We need you. It's a freaking mess out there. All right, you guys, I love you to bits. Have an incredible month. Welcome to November. Thank you so much for showing up because you guys let me do what I love most in the world. All right, I hope this was super helpful. Love you guys. Bye.